Elevation and Love family. Today you are being asked to make peace with who you are and what you have to offer to any situation. Right now is a time for us in this new beginning to start to shift our perception of our situations and the decisions that we make. Right? So we all have this way of analyzing our growth based off of our surroundings or the examples that we see as far as what we believe success is, right? Or elevating or getting things done. We look around us for examples, for confirmation that we're going in the right direction and we're doing the right things. But we have to break through this paradigm, right? We have to shift our thinking away from this way of going after confirmation, right? And how we go about that is by coming to peace with ourselves and what we are. How we get to the place of peace is sitting with ourselves and being quiet long enough to hear what we are and to hear ourselves speak. See, when you're alone and when you're quiet, when you're just sitting still, you may think you're just thinking about things, in your mind, you're just running over things. But this is actually your higher self talking with you and dialoguing with you about things that you go through in your life, right? Stuff you might figure out or have an aha moment. These are all things that your higher self is giving you. All of these golden nuggets, all of these things you figure out when you get alone and you're just sitting still. Things you figure out without even having to think about it. It's because you're dialoguing with yourself. And when you're dialoguing with yourself, you're reaching that place of peace. You're realizing that there is something greater that you can offer a situation. Or there is a greater strategy about how to handle certain things. But right now, in this time, we want to reach the next phase in our lives by accepting the change, right? Accepting the change. And how we accept change is by coming to peace and shifting that perception. Now, when we shift our perception, we start to realize that nature has its own balance, right? We as individuals, we have a way of trying to control balance, but balance is already set in place. Nature controls balance, and you can always look to nature to find balance if you feel like you're out of balance. Go and sit around some trees, watch the birds, listen to the wind blow, listen to the water. Just listen to nature play its part. Everything in nature is in total, complete acceptance of what it is and what it has to offer. And that's what we need to be in the times when we're elevating and going to the next level. We have to let go of things that don't serve us. Let go of mentalities that don't help us along the way. Let go of the thinking patterns that we might have grown up with that don't serve us now, that don't serve you in whatever you're trying to do right now. But enter into that duality balance, right? Nature has a duality balance. And what I mean by duality balance, I mean between masculine and feminine energy. Now, a lot of us think that divinity, or not divinity, but duality is between a negative and positive. And we look at it from a love and hate perspective. But that's the wrong perspective. The perspective that we need to have, the perception that we need to have, is masculine and feminine. Two different things that come together that create balance. Masculine, which gets things done, versus feminine, which has an emotional way of caring for a situation. So you have this energy where you getting stuff done, and then you have this other energy where you have a certain way that you go about it. You have a certain tact. You have tact and tactics behind the way you handle the situations. So when we reach this perception shift and we start to exercise a proper balance of duality, we reach this place of ancient wisdom. And in this ancient wisdom, we know that all works for the greater good. There's no such thing as good or bad. It just is, right? When we take our hands off of a situation, when we stop forcing a situation, an outcome to happen, and we allow it to unfold naturally, we are acknowledging this wisdom, and we are becoming our higher self. We are becoming this energy. We are becoming this wisdom that we're longing for. We search all outside of ourselves for this type of information and these energies and these different levels that we want to reach in our lives. But once we sit still and we reach deep down within us and we acknowledge the quiet space, that quiet space will become not so quiet anymore, because it will start to fill up with information. It will start to fill up with those answers to those questions we've always had, but never really understood why we have these questions. But as we start to reflect inward, whatever's inside of us will start to reflect outward. And this is just the balance that we want. This is that balance that we need in this time. So as we're going through these changes, accept these changes. Accept who you are. Love who you are. And be grateful for who you are and what you have to offer to any situation. I love you all. I want to see y'all doing great things out there. I want y'all to keep me up. I'm going to keep y'all up in this elevation and love. I'm out this thing.